What's up, bros? I'm Josh, and welcome to the Antidote. And in this video, we're going to break down why and how the law of attraction kept me poor, and how I actually learned to use it to help me. My main problem was that I wanted the big picture. I wanted the big money. I wanted that $1,000,000. It's like the little child in me that just wants everything all at the same time. In the Jewish practice of Kabbalah, one needs to build a vessel, a keli, in order to receive ever greater manifestations of abundance. You know that feeling when you stretch too quick and tear your muscles, or when you heat up a cup too quickly and that's like a vessel that breaks and that can't handle what's inside of it. The vessel needs to gradually grow, but once warmed up, it can grow fast. There's an ancient Talmudic line called "Tafasta meruba lo tafasta." You grab too much and you ended with nothing. The way to tap into that subconscious state is to make the change there, a change that will actually work, and it's through small shifts, small habits, small wins, to communicate to your subconscious with associations with positive emotions. This is the same manner in which states of flow are created. It's the small changes that cement confidence and experience of positivity that facilitates transformation from the inside out. The problem with the law of attraction is that it tells you just to think and it will be, but you think both on a conscious and subconscious level. It's telling you to just say the same thing again and again and again, and eventually you're going to believe it. But if you force someone to do something, will they want to do it deep down inside? No. The law of attraction can be poor because it reaffirmed to me that I have no idea what I'm doing. And I was going after the big picture all the time without reaffirming the smaller steps that I needed to do in order to get the confidence to get a good association with money. It reaffirmed my poor need because nothing was working, and I made me think that I was a failure. Grifters are preying on those of us that are so desperate for change, but are caught in a hamster wheel of confusion, caught up in lying to ourselves and misinterpreting the signals our deeper levels of self are communicating to us. It's teaching and taking advantage of people literally by training them to lie to themselves. So when I was a small kid, my mom and dad were basically never together. Quick side note, it's not about me victimizing myself or blaming my parents. I'm just a very reflective person. So when I'm sharing why I had a mental, energetic, financial block, I need to share the full picture so you can help yourself get out of it also. So I was drowning in debt, and every moment felt like my bills just kept on stacking up. And when I actually would try to hone in and focus on my finances, it was as if my brain would go into total space mode, like blankness. I felt confused and disoriented constantly. So initially, I really tried hard to break down the nitty gritty of what my blocks really were. I looked at my childhood patterns. I broke down like what happened. I have memories as a child when we had money. We would go out every Sunday with my dad, and he would just buy us toys. And I guess this was the way that he was able to connect with us and really make up for the time that he wasn't around. You know, like it's exciting. Imagine when you were a kid, that feeling of novelty and excitement, buying something new. It's like I can remember the bright light in the giant toy store, those giant aisles sparkling with like different types of toys. Thing is, as time progressed, our financial situation in the family changed. I attended a Jewish day school, and the parents of the kids around me were doctors, lawyers, and other professionals who were making bank. So I wanted to be just as leveled up as possible, like all my friends in school. So for all of you guys my age, it was around the year of Y2K. Everyone was freaking out. They're like, what happens when the digital clocks turn zero? Is our planes going to fall out of the sky? Our computers going to stop working? But I remember that moment when I came home asking my parents to buy me those wide leg pants and Osiris's. Really wanted them to feel cool. And I was so used to getting what I wanted whenever I wanted. So when they literally turned to me and were like, no, you can't, it literally broke my heart. I didn't get it. All my friends at school were able to buy whatever the hell they wanted. And I used to buy whatever the hell I wanted. And all of a sudden now I'm feeling like a freaking poor boy. You know, I had approached them multiple times and it started to be something that would happen all the time. Sorry, like we just can't afford it. Obviously, as time passed, right? Like when I got older, I forgot about it. But the emotional and mental effects, like unrealized, continued into my adulthood. It's like when I would spend time with my dad, I had that abundance. And when he wasn't around, I didn't. And it seemed like I had so much of it. Then all of a sudden, it was just all taken away from me. And so as I grew older, that block unconsciously became a way for me to cope. Because if I got what I wanted and I got the money I wanted, or at least felt I got the money that I wanted, how much would it hurt to have it taken away from me? It became my most basic association with money. And I think money is something that should theoretically bring you peace or experiences of freedom and abundance. But I was associating it with pain. Anyone who knows and understands money also knows that it must move. Money is like a transference of energy, of value. The very fear of not having enough or losing it manifests itself in the amount of money you can actually have, make, build, or use. I didn't realize that this mental block deep down inside was really pain and fear, because I was just going through these spasms of not thinking or just feeling like totally like I was confused. Fast forward 15 years, I have a mold and moisture business I built here in Israel. It's bringing me a lot of cash. From my work, I have stacks of like 35,000 shekels at a time. That's like $12,000. But what I noticed is that no matter how much money was coming into my hands, I was still poor. Nothing would ever stay, and I was consistently losing more somewhere, somehow, than I could gain. I could feel the texture of the money against my fingers. I could see the colors, but inside it was like I was dead. It was a while until I figured out what the hell was going on. On the outside, I was just getting into these massive debt problems, and I would end up exploding. I would have to find an immediate solution, putting out a fire, ask my dad, take a loan, owe more money. And it literally got worse and worse. And I didn't know what the hell to do about it. Like, I read books on mindset, money. I watched countless hours of podcasts. I even worked with life coaches on my business, and nothing was working. Everyone's trying to sell you these external steps and these actions you need to take in order to get rich or make the money you want. As if you just change yourself and take action and boom, you're going to make it. Listen, if you take someone who's a self-made businessman or someone born into a rich family that only knows money, so that literally the layer in his reality and his experience and his output and input is money, take it all away, he's going to come back rich. He's going to make it back. Like a poor person with a poor mindset who's never worked on it, give him all the riches, he's probably going to go back to being poor. Check it out for yourself, but it seems like about 70% of winners of lottery tickets end up going bankrupt within 5 to 7 years. It might even be higher. Until this moment when everything changed, it wasn't a shift in mindset. It wasn't an overnight shift. There were 3 things that I needed to actually shift everything. And for me to love money, to want it, not to be ashamed about it. I call it a trifecta, 3 things that you need to have in order to shift that mindset. Because if you miss one, you won't have anything. First off, it's your energy. Like, your friends, are they people that are poor? Do they have poor mindsets? Do they like money? Do they love money? Do they have good money flow in their lives? Do they have a good apprehension of money? And I don't mean just like people that are going to be hustler, spend all their money on a bunch of stuff, but people that have that positivity, that good energy around receiving money. Number 2, you have to change your habits. Keep a large goal, but start with smaller steps. Allow yourself to get into the flow of easily making smaller amounts. So you start associating success with that amount. Like, if I want to make $1 million and I'm trying to manifest that and I don't feel like I'm a millionaire, well, it's going to be very difficult for me to get to that. But if I decide that I'm going to manifest $350 and start getting used to manifesting it, whether it's in work or whatever it is, I start to create a flow and energy around that amount that feels and that I associate with success. I streamlined an easy way to make about 1,500 shekels. So when I would see the opportunity in my work, I would go for it. And what happened is that I lost shame and I gained confidence with making a very consistent amount of money. Mindset. So who you are is literally an external expression of your internal world. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest who you are and how you feel and perceive yourself, also in context to the world. My habits, my internal thoughts, the way my emotions and self-belief is, who I am, how am I perceiving myself. We're literally creating life. You could tell yourself over and over, you're going to be a millionaire. But if your internal communication, your subconscious mind is the opposite of what you're trying to transform in your conscious mind, so you're never fully going to believe it, and you're going to resist and feel that resistance constantly, which creates a feedback loop that actually expands and takes energy from you because you're busy trying to convince yourself to push yourself, but it's not budging. And the more it doesn't budge, the more frustrated you become, which in turn actually pushes that very thing away. So, in order to make it happen with ease, your internal identity needs to match the external identity. Have you ever noticed when your friend talks about a green Volkswagen bug he wants to buy, and all of a sudden you just see it everywhere? That's your reticulating activating system doing its work. When you hear about manifestation experts talk about matching your vibration to that which you're trying to manifest, this is what they're talking about. It's being able to experience that vibration in your reality so that you can connect with it. But if it's too far out and you don't know what it feels like, then you're not going to get there. The trick is you want to be able to have your confirmation bias work for you. We want your perception to confirm to you that your desired reality is being manifest. And this can only happen through a conscious decision making process in order to see this and make it happen. You need to have your internal subconscious match your external consciousness. Grifters are preying on those of us that are so desperate for change, but are caught in a hamster wheel of confusion, caught up in lying to ourselves and misinterpreting the signals deeper levels of self are communicating to us. It's teaching and taking advantage of people literally by training them to lie to themselves. Art is staring down the very thing that makes you fearful. And that for me was what I didn't want to believe, that I had a poor mindset and that what I was doing wasn't working. It was as if I believed it for a moment, that it would make it true, when in fact it was the opposite. If we cannot stare down our shadows and run towards that which we fear, we always stay in lower levels of consciousness. Apparently, what you seek is directly on the other side of fear. So what ultimately helped me was seeing my shadow, my subconscious, taking the first step of acceptance needed in order to transform it and work with it by taking small steps to strengthen my relationship with money, not dent it, and create momentum to grow that relationship and energetic and emotional associations, ones that I could feel, small habits that changed me, made me feel better about myself. And then I got better at manifesting. Guys, thanks so much for watching my video. I really hope that you were able to get some good perspective on yourself and shift the way that you look at the law of attraction, manifesting money, because there was a lot of challenges that I had with it. Please share, comment, like, subscribe. Those of you guys out there who are dating, download my book, The Antidote. It's about elevating yourself through dating and relationships. If you want to book a one-on-one consultation, link is below. Catch me in the next video.